All right, we're back again on the floor. I'm just gonna assume that this whole floor thing is gonna be my little trademark for YouTube or something. So whenever I do videos outside, I guess I'm gonna be sitting on the floor too. All right, so today we have a rant video. So for anyone who's been following me on Instagram for a long time, they know that I can rant. I can talk some shit. I have opinions. I haven't really done anything like that in a while on Instagram. Just like ever since I got my girl and stuff, I haven't been as involved in like the beefs or like the haters and like all that shit. So yeah, I haven't done it. But I have 10 topics here that I'll talk about. Like, I guess you can say they're pet peeves. There's some that are about like people in general, and then there's some that are about bins specifically. I thought it'd be cool to kind of add some like bin specific type of pet peeves, because I know anyone that goes to bins every day or like solely picks at bins, like they deal with these people, like they'll understand. Like, so yeah, let's just get it started. These aren't in any type of particular order, so they might kind of jump around a little bit. But the first thing we have is not selling something because of the fact that it's valuable or the fact that it's cool to other people, or just because it's popular or like the hype in general. As somebody that used to go to bins all the time, I've seen crazy shit pulled. I'm sure any of you that go to bins all the time, and I guess if you don't know what bins are, Goodwill bins, like the outlet stores. I'm sure you've all seen crazy shit pulled that you personally, whether you want it because it's valuable or because you want it because you personally like it and you want to keep it and you want to wear it. And the person that pulls it, they're just like, oh no, I don't want to sell it. Like, I'm gonna hold on to this one. Like, this is a personal piece. Like that bullshit. But you know that they don't know what it is. Like, that's the most annoying shit to me. Like, as somebody that used to like dig at bins and like I would buy a lot off of people, because I mean I traveled around like the country for a while, and so I've been to a lot of different bins. I've met a lot of different people. In every single bins I've ever been to, there's people like this, and it's like they'll pull something and you just know that they don't know what it is. They don't know what it's worth. They know it's cool though. Like, they know it's worth something, but they don't know how much it's worth. And that's what scares them into being like, oh no, I don't want to sell it. Like, oh, I think I like this, or like I think it's cool, so I'm gonna keep it. But you know that they just want to go and look it up on eBay or some shit. And it's like, oh, that's the most annoying shit. Or it's like, you know that they don't care about it, but it's worth money, so they want to keep it, like just to look cool. So that's definitely up there. Like, all these things annoy the shit out of me, but that's so annoying. I couldn't tell you how many times I've like seen somebody pull something at a bins, and then I'm like, go up to them like, oh, like how much do you want for that? Like, I'll pay you good, like da 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 da. And they just like obviously don't know what it is, but they're just like, oh, I think I'm gonna keep it. It's like, oh. Next up we have OldHeads. Very opinionated on this. I guess like if you don't know what OldHeads would be considered, pretty much like they're like the older generation of like vintage sellers or thrift. I wouldn't even count them as thrifters really anymore, but like the vintage sellers that are all like older dudes, and they hate on like all of the new like younger thrifters or like the new younger sellers because of what they sell, or because of what they don't know, or what they don't sell, or how much they sell something for. Like, that shit, they just hate on shit. Like, it's so annoying. Like, oh, I wish I would have talked about this like a year ago. I had so much more in my head about it. But it's like, they just hate on shit. Like, they hate, like, whether if like you are selling something that they like, they get mad at that. They get mad at how much you're selling it for, even though it's what it's worth. Like, you have like a shirt that's worth $100, but they like it, and they know that you don't really know what it is, but you know it's worth $100, so you're selling it for $100. And then they like just act like you shouldn't be allowed to even touch it because they like it. Like, there's a whole specific category of old heads that are like into like the black metal tees, or like the metal t-shirts in general, and they like Kanye like wore like a fuck. Now I can't think of it. But Kanye's worn like the whole like black metal tees, like probably Travis Scott has. Oh, Kanye wore a Dark Throne and an Emperor shirt. And they're like the crazy ass metal tees with like the super sick graphics with like the crazy fonts. And they became like very popular like for a short stint of like the Kanye fans, and a lot of like rappers wore it just because the graphics are cool and the fonts are really cool. And there's a specific type of old head that's like super into like black metal tees because they enjoy black metal. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like they can enjoy it. But they would act so like entitled to all the black metal tees in the whole world. Like as if you had to sell it to them for what they wanted to pay just because they liked it. And they didn't want to pay much because they knew that no one else was really into it, and they know that like no one really likes it because black metal's really fucked up. Like black metal, like I don't know, you should listen to it. Go listen to like Burzum and like all that shit. It's like creepy. Like Mayhem, like they're weird, like they're weirdos. Like it's scary actually. And they just act like, I don't know, like they want to like oversee the game, you know, like they want to act like they're like above everyone because they've been doing it longer, but then they want to complain about the market and like what's popular, and like they all want to sell like 80s band t-shirts still when no one gives a fuck about them, and then they see rap tees and they just talk shit on rap tees because they're worth a lot, but in reality it's like they just don't stay with the curve. Like they're too busy selling the same shit that they've sold for the past 15 years, even though it's not worth anything anymore, but they want it to be because it's all they really know. And it's like they want to always be like, oh, I remember throwing rap tees back, like, and it's just like, you sound like an idiot. Like that sucks for you, I guess. But then they act like they're too good to sell like certain things. Like they all want to talk shit on like Polo and like when Polo, Tommy, Guess, Calvin Klein, like all those brands in like 2016, 2017 when they were like hitting hard, like they wanted to talk shit on those and be like, if you sell that, you're trash, like you suck. Like they all just, they're crazy. I mean, fuck, like they all think they know everything. They all think that they're like the best. They all think that like if you're young, you're shit. If you're young, you don't know anything. If you're young, you have bad taste. If you're young, you have this, you're that, you're that. They call you kids, they call you this. Like they're all wild. I'm sure everyone knows, like they know what it is. They know what the old heads are. Everyone knows an old head. Like everyone knows how they act. Like that motherfuckers is annoying. Next up we have taxing, which I mean, I kind of just threw taxing in there because I feel like everyone universally hates people that tax, but I feel like it's a situational thing, you know, because like there's taxing, but there's also people that can tax because they can actually sell shit for like ridiculous amounts of money. So I mean, I more hate when people tax because they don't know what something is, or they don't know what it's worth, they don't know what it is, or they just don't want to sell it. Like I've seen people have like rap tees like at Rose Bowl, or like really good band t-shirts, and like you'll always see the person at Rose Bowl with a heart-shaped box, and you know that they don't really want to sell it just because it's a heart-shaped box, so they put like $2,000 on it, or like $1,600, and you just look at them like, well, what the fuck is it up here? Like that shit, that's annoying. So it's like, but then there's people that are like, they want $3,000 on a t-shirt because they sell t-shirts to like celebrities pretty much, and it's like, that's a little different. I mean, you got to know your clientele, but I mean, for most people, like there's just people that they just think that they want some exorbitant amount of money for like something because they don't really know what it is, and that's like what's annoying to me. So it's like, or if they want to keep it, like I've asked about shirts like at Rose Bowl, and somebody will tell me like 5 times what it's really worth. And it's a shirt that like, it might be worth a lot, but like everyone knows what it's really worth. Everyone knows the market value. And like, let's say it's worth $300 and they say they want $1,200. And like, I'll ask them, I'll be like, why is it $1,200? Like I've genuinely asked people that, and they'll be like, oh, like it's kind of a personal, like it's a personal piece. Like I hate that word too. Like when you say it's a personal piece, like, oh. But they'll be like, oh, it's a personal, like it's out the collection. Like, oh, it's this, like, oh, it's crazy. Like, I kind of don't want to sell it. And it's just like, then why is it here? Like, why is it hanging up in your booth for all of us to want to buy it? Like, if you don't want to sell something, like wear it to Rose Bowl. Like you don't put it up for sale and then name some crazy ass price. Cause like you have to realize, like, you have a heart-shaped box hanging up right here, front of your booth for everyone to fucking see. You want $1,600 on it. Anyone who asks, they're like, oh, how much is the heart-shaped box? And you say anything over like 12, they're gonna be like, all right, this fool's a fucking idiot. He's fucking taxing, like, all his shit's either trash or it's way too high priced. They're not gonna look through anything. It's like, you gotta, like, if you don't want to sell something, like, don't sell it. Like, you don't have to sell anything. Like, if you want to keep everything you ever find, like, keep it. But you also don't need to sit there and try to be a flexer at a flea market. Like, oh, I mean, I can only really speak for Rose Bowl because, like, I went there for so long. I kind of saw it through a lot of different stages of sellers. And it's like, when people, like, hang shit up that they don't want to sell, it's the most annoying thing. Like, you're at a flea market. Like, the dude next to you has a dollar pile. Like, there's no reason to be flexing, like, fucking t-shirts. Like, it's not that serious. And it's just like, I understand, like, if you want to wear it, like, wear your heart-shaped box to Rose Bowl. I used to wear crazy shit to Rose Bowl. But it's like, you don't need to hang it all up for everyone to see and get excited about, and get excited for the fact that maybe they can buy it, and then name some exorbitant ass price that, like, not even eBay has them for price for that much. And it's just like, you're ruining your own business. Like, you just look dumb, for one. You're ruining your own business because no one's going to want to buy from you, because everyone's going to assume every single thing you have is expensive as shit. And you are the cool guy with a heart-shaped box hanging up in your booth at Rose Bowl with $300 in your pocket throughout the whole day. That's really what happens. So, I mean, quit taxing on your shit. If you don't want to sell it, don't sell it. If you don't know what it is, sell it for what you can sell it for, and then figure out what it is from whoever buys it. Or just sell shit. You don't need to get top dollar on every little thing. Okay, number 4 is not paying your dues. Not paying your dues is kind of like another, like, I don't know. It's kind of a personal thing, I guess. Because I feel like in today's generation of sellers, they have Instagram, they have eBay, they have this, they have Depop, they have Mercari, they have Grail, they have all these things to either, or StockX even. I don't know if StockX is for vintage, but I mean Supreme and all that shit. I know it's for that. But, like, they want top dollar on every little thing, even though they have no clue what it is. They just see it on eBay, or they see it on Instagram, and they see other people going crazy for it on Instagram. Like, it's, I don't know, like, it's kind of hard to explain, actually. I guess, like, I think I already told this, I'm pretty sure I already told this story in a video, but it's like, when I wanted to learn about something, I would find it and give it to people I knew wanted it, whether it was like True Vintage Women's, whether it was True Vintage. At one point I was doing that, and now I know a lot about True Vintage. Military, all that shit. I didn't, denim even, like, when I didn't know what it was, I didn't know anything about it, but I knew it was good. I know that there's a market for it. I would give it to people that actually cared about it and actually sold it and knew what it was, and trade for information. And I would also watch, like, how they reacted when I gave them things. And if they didn't want it, they're going to throw it back, which means it's not going to be very good. And if they really liked it, they're going to tell you, like, you're giving it to them for free. Like, you can trade that for information. Or it's like, they'll see, like, oh, it's cool, like, it's not crazy, like, da da da. You ask them how much they're going to sell it for. Like, people are going to tell you, like, if you're going to go out of your way to give them shit for free, they're going to give you information. That's just how it works. And it's like, then slowly over time, you start selling it to them. You sell it to them for wholesale prices or discounted prices so they can still make money. And during that whole process, you're learning about what they sell it for. You're still learning. You're getting used to finding it. You're getting better at finding it. You're starting to realize exactly how old it is based off of the tag, based off of the fucking hems, based off of the stitching, like, all of that. You're learning all these things until you learn enough to confidently know what you're talking about, confidently price it, confidently sell it, and you know what you're talking about. Like, you're a respectable seller. Like, you're like, oh, this dude really knows what he's talking about. He knows what he has. He can tell you what era it's from, what makes it from that era, why it's cool, this and that. But today, it's like, people find shit and they're just like, I want $500. They know it's a Navy jacket from the 40s. That's about it. Like, or they know it's a leather jacket that's horsehide. Like, they don't know when it's from, they don't know what it is, they don't know anything more than the very minimum, but they want market. And it's just like, no one wants to buy that stuff from people like that. Like, no one wants to buy, like, no one wants to give you top dollar when you don't even know what it is. Like, that's not going to make the buyer feel good. You're not even going to be able to sell it to them. Like, you're not going to, because there's a difference between a piece selling itself and the seller selling the piece. And it's like, you have to know what you have. You have to know what you're talking about in order to sell your pieces. And so it's like, I feel like now, like, because of Instagram or because of eBay, like, I mean, I know eBay's been a thing for a long time, but like, just how big the vintage market is now, it's kind of allowed people to get away with, like, not really having to learn anything. They kind of just have to find it and post it, and then it either sells. Like, there's very specific things that not a lot of people know about that you have to know what it is to sell it, to like price it at and all that. But I mean, I feel like today everyone just gets very greedy, and like no one's actually out there like trying to help people out to like build relationships, you know? I feel like now it's like everyone just wants to be a fucking top seller and make a shit ton of money and sell pieces for $1,000 without building any type of relationships. And then I guess like kind of goes into that is entitledness. Like, I feel like a lot of people are really entitled now. And when I say that, I don't even mean like, sorry, my legs are falling asleep. People are like very entitled. Like, I would say it's buyers more than even sellers or anything, but it's like people, whether they feel entitled to your information, whether they feel entitled to your, like, to your knowledge, I should say, whether they feel entitled to your knowledge, whether they feel entitled to your selling, like, ways, whether they feel entitled for you to tell them, like, well, I guess that goes into knowledge, I guess, but, whether they feel entitled to your pieces, like, you have to sell it to them because they have $100, like, or whether, like, they deserve these pieces because they've been into vintage for a week, like, it's shit like that. Like, it seems like everyone wants you to like respond to them right away and like fucking thank them for every little thing they've ever done for anyone in their whole lives. Like, they think that you have to sell them every little piece that they ask for, even though half the time they're not going to buy it. Probably more than half the time. And it's like they want to get mad when you don't respond to, like, they don't, like, or you don't respond for an hour and they message you like question marks every 3 fucking minutes. Oh my god. And then you tell them like, oh, it sold, and be like, I asked you like when you posted it like 5 seconds ago, and it's just like, well, it fucking sold. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I've had so many times when people are like, wow, I was gonna buy it, and it's like, I don't need to sell it to you. Like, you can get mad all you want, but like, I don't have to sell to you. I don't have to buy from you. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to tell you anything. I don't have to do any type of thing. Like, I can even name an example that literally just happened. I posted about it on my story like literally like a few days ago. But some person asked me like to give out all this fucking information on rag houses, and which I even posted a video talking about them. So it's like they could have just watched that. But like, they asked about like this information on rag houses, like, where am I digging, like, what all this shit, and I didn't ever respond because why would I? And then they're like, you're a fucking faggot, like, you don't know how to do this, you're not this. Like, they said shit that also didn't make any sense. That's why I don't really remember, but they called me a fucking faggot for not telling them. And it's just like, entitled. Like, I don't need to tell you shit. Like, I don't need to tell you what a shirt's worth. I don't need to tell you about what a rag house is. I don't need to tell you where I dig. I don't need to fucking like do all this shit. And like, people want you to like hold their hands through business. Like, oh, the entitledness. It's crazy. Next up we have haters. So haters, to give them some love. I feel you guys. I feel like me, out of damn near everyone, like, I feel like I get the most haters, like, because there are people that get a lot of hate, but it's very well deserved. Like, they're actually like pieces of shit, and like the whole vintage community just hates them, and that goes with like sellers and all that. But I feel like most like random haters, like all on like burner accounts, 0 following, 0 followers, 0 posts, like all those accounts, like I get so many. Or like this random kid calling me a fucking faggot because I didn't want to tell him something. Like, I get that shit so much, and I've gotten like pretty bad ones before, like some really fucked up ones. Like, oh yeah, I've had people say some fucking wild shit, and it's like, that's the whole thing. Like, I understand, like, if I know why people hate, obviously. Like, I'm younger, like, we all played Xbox, we all played Modern Warfare 2 and like Black Ops 2 and shit. Like, we've all seen hating through the internet. Like, we all know how it is, like, why. And it's just like, people do it to get a rise out of you, or just for like, because they kind of think it's funny, but in reality it's more that they're like either super insecure, like just not happy, or they're jealous. Like, it's all those things. But it's like, what's the point of like really doing it? Like, there's one dude that's in my DMs right now, and I don't really block any of the haters, because I don't, it's not as much now, but like I used to like love knowing the fact that they could see my profile and it would make them more mad. But now I'm kind of over it a little bit. But there's one specific dude, it's on a burner account, and he messages me about every single story I post. He's always saying some like mean shit. Like, he would be like calling me like fat and shit, you know, like just normal shit, like nothing crazy. But he'll be like I posted something with Lisa one time, and he like said that she was a hoe, or like he was like, you can't even fit into any of your clothes. What else did he say? He said that I was trash and a liar. He said that, just like shit like that, you know. And it's just like, you surround yourself with like so much negativity all the time, like, because it's like, you can think it's funny. I understand that. Like, if you say some hater shit and you think it's funny, like, I guess like that's you. But like, if you're doing it every day, every time this one person posts, like, it's like you're personally affected by someone that doesn't even care about you or know who you are, and you're just surrounding like yourself with all that negative energy towards somebody that doesn't even give a shit or know who you are. And it's like, that has to be so exhausting. That has to be like painful almost. And it's just like, you're living your life like mad at people that don't know you. And it's like, I don't understand like how people that do that are like, because it can't be just me that he's messaging. There's no way. It'd make it way more personal, and I would hope that if it was that personal, that he would have the nuts to like say who it was, because that would mean I would know him, I would assume. So it's like, that's a whole other thing, is like, you're surrounding yourself with all that negative energy, like you're just making your life worse, is really what it comes down to. But it's also like, if you're gonna be a hater and shit, like, why not do it with your real face? Like, why not like actually put yourself out there? Like, if you're gonna act that bold to say that fucked up of shit, why not make it known who you are? Like, why not be like, oh, it's me? Like, are you gonna do some shit? Like, why not be like, oh, I'm telling you, you're a fucking fat ass piece of shit, I hate you. Like, why not? Like, you're gonna act bold, you're bold enough to say it, so like, why can't you really own it? And it's just like, for all you people out there, like, if you ever get to a point to where you start getting people that hate on you, like, you can either just block them, which is what most people do. I personally never have, just because I kind of get off to the fact that knowing that they see my shit still, it's like a weird ego thing. But like, you can just block them, like, you don't have to ever deal with it. Like, just don't ever message them back, because you're opening the floodgates at that point. I've made that mistake of messaging back, or like trying to fuck with the troll, you know, like saying shit back to them. You're never gonna lose, but you're never gonna win, because you have to realize like, these people either aren't stable, or they really have no lives, to the point that they're gonna keep going for as long as it takes for you to like either break or block them or something overboard. And that's all they're waiting for. They're gonna keep poking you until you do it. So, I mean, you can nip it in the bud, just block them right away. Like, you don't got to deal with it. Like, just don't let it get to you. Like, don't think that it's true, or like, don't let it like feel serious, you know, because they're just saying shit. They're just saying shit to like try to get to you. Like, you don't need to take it serious. Like, I feel like if I got affected or like offended, like every time somebody said some mean shit through a fake account, oh my god, I wouldn't even be on Instagram anymore. So it's like, just don't let it get to you. Just block it. Just go. Or you can argue back if that's your thing. Like, I wouldn't blame you. I've done it. Okay. People who price based off of eBay. I guess that kind of goes into like taxing and shit. But people that like literally like their whole lives of pricing is just off of eBay, that shit's so trash. Like, if you find something, no idea what it is, you have no fucking clue, and you just type in the whatever words are on the shirt onto eBay, and then of course something's gonna pop up for like $600, because everything on eBay is $1 million for some reason, and it's like, I want $600 because that's what it's on eBay for. Oh man, That shit's so annoying. And it's just like, the only people pricing off of eBay are people that don't know. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Because there's a certain level, like, if you just are getting into like the vintage game or like whatever you want to say, like, I understand like going off of eBay. There's a difference between going off of eBay and pricing off of eBay. Because like you can go off eBay, like you can see like all the listings, all the sold listings, and like kind of feel it out to where you can kind of get an average number of what you think it actually is going for. And like you're actually taking the time to pay attention, you know. But it's like if you're just pricing like the first number you see on eBay, like you go to fucking Wyco Vintage's eBay and you just see $1,500 and that's what you ask, like, oh man, you have a lot to learn and you have a lot of things that are not going to sell before you finally realize it. And it's like, where was I going with this? Yeah, I mean, you're not ever going to be able to sell shit. That's really what damn. You're never gonna be able to sell shit. You're gonna look dumb. Like, I've had a lot of times, like when I've tried to buy something, like somebody pulls something in bins, I want it. I'm like, oh, hey, how much do you want for that? Oh, let me check eBay. They go and check eBay. They tell me how much it is on eBay. And I already know, like everyone that buys frequently off of people, they know the second they're like, oh, let me look it up. You just go straight to eBay. And if they're $1 million on eBay, you're not getting the shirt. That's really what it comes down to. Or they're gonna tell you some exorbitant amount of money that it's not worth, and you're pretty much fucked either way. So it's like, it's just bad. It's just annoying. Like, eBay in general is just annoying in that aspect because, oh, that's where I was going. Sorry. There's like a certain point, this like based off of like when I said, like if you're a new seller, like I kind of get you, da, da, da. So like there's a certain point when you've been selling for long enough and you've sold enough pieces and you've sold enough like styles of pieces that like you don't need to go off of eBay. You don't need to go off of online. Like you can start selling based off of what you've sold shit for in the past, what you've seen shit sell for, like from your homies or like just in general. Like you gain the knowledge of being able to price shit just like, oh, I pulled out a bin. I know this is easy 45. Oh, I know this is easy 20. Oh, this is a $10 rack easy sell all day at Rose Bowl. Oh, this is a $5 rack easy sell at Rose Bowl all day. Like, oh, this is a $500 piece. Like, you learn to like price shit on your own. And it's like, if you constantly just want to look at eBay every 2 seconds, every time you pull something, if you're just like, eBay, how much is it? It's like, you're never going to learn. Like, you're never going to really, you will at one point, but it's going to take you a lot longer. Like, you kind of need, and that goes back to like when I say you have to be comfortable with fucking up. You have to be comfortable with selling shit for too low. Because it's like, that's really how you're going to learn. Like, you need to sell shit on your own to learn. Like, you can't have somebody telling you what everything is worth. You can't have eBay trying to tell you what everything is worth. Like, you have to learn on your own. Like, you have to grow up and, like, actually do shit yourself. And I guess if you are going to price shit off of eBay, never price shit based off of, like, what it's listed for. Because I can throw a fucking Chicago Bulls shirt on eBay for $20,000 if I want to. Just like I could throw this shirt on there for $100,000 if I want to. Is it worth that? Obviously not. But it's like, you have to realize, like, people just throw shit on eBay like for exorbitant amount of prices, trying to get people to offer them because they don't know what it's worth. So like they throw it on for a super high price, thinking that whoever sees it that is actually willing to pay a lot is going to be like, oh, he knows what it is, so I have to offer him what it's worth. And it's like, that never actually happens. But it's like, go to the sold listings. I'm going to be that guy and tell you to go to the comps. Go to the completed sold listings. And then see like 4 or 5 sold listings and take that average number. And that's an okay number to start at. Like, in my full opinion, like, that's an okay number to start at. Because, like, obviously, that's what it sold for. That's market. That's a market value. What it actually sold for, that's okay. But you also have to realize that there are things that sell on eBay that might sell for a lot on eBay. Like, you might not be able to sell it for that much, or maybe you can sell it on eBay for that much. But there's also things that sell on eBay for cheap, that if you know what you're selling and you're capable of selling it, and whether you have a bigger following, or like whether you sell at a good market, like you sell at Melrose, like you can sell pieces for more than they're really worth on eBay. So it's like, even if you're going by eBay completed listings, like you might undersell shit. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need to like kind of just learn on your own, like what to price shit at. and like how to sell it, and like it's also gonna help you learn like about like styles of clothing, you know. Like it's gonna help. It's gonna help. Selling it on your own. Do that shit yourself. Don't look to eBay for it. Okay, so the last three I have are all like bins related situations, or like peeves or whatever. So the first one we have is bin hoppers. We all know these people, whether you know that term or not. We all know these people, and they're the people that, like, let's say you're digging, you're not finding shit. You hit a bin, and this bin has some shit in it, and like it's one of those bins that you just see it, and you just see like the single stitch, you see the tags, you see like the styles, like you know this bin's full of 90s shit or 80s shit or 40s shit. Like you know it's old shit. And like there's always that one fucking dickhead. There's always that one dude that like he just watches people. He's watching you. He's watching you. And he waits for you to go, and the second you throw more than one thing on your shoulder or one thing in your bag, like more than one thing in your bag, like he's there. He's on your bin. He's taking the other fucking half of your shit. Like, you're a dick. Like, if you do that, you're hated by everyone that you go to bins with. Like, whether you're friends with them or not, they don't like you. Like, they don't want you there. And it's like, if you do that, just fucking stop. Like, you're gonna hit your lick. Like, you're gonna hit your bin. You're gonna have your luck. But it's like, I'm sorry, but like, if you're digging with people, like if you're in a bins that has a lot of pickers in it, like you all need to have a mutual respect for each other that says, like, if I hit a bin and I'm the only one in it and I'm pulling shit, like, you need to leave me the fuck alone, because that's just how it works. Like, I hit my time, I hit my luck, like, let me get that. You could do that. Or there's always the dickhead that hops into the bin, and it's like, you hate them after that. You can't be friends with the dude that does that. Like, if somebody does that to you, like, you pull out like 3 shirts, you know they're all crazy, and he sees that and he just fucking goes and like takes half the bin and fucking walks away, like, you hate him for the rest of his life. You don't like him. And it's like, what you could do, instead of being that guy, take your L, just watch it happen, allow it to happen, keep digging, wait for them to leave the bin, and then you go through the bin, because you know that they're gonna miss shit. I'm sorry, but like anyone that digs at bins, like I think I only know like 1 or 2 people that if they hit a bin full of shit, you know for a fact that they pulled everything out of it. I only know of like 2 people that like I would confidently be like, he found everything in that bin. No matter what time it is, no matter what situation, he found everything in that bin. But it's like 99% of pickers, like, they hit a bin full of shit, they didn't find everything. They just didn't. I know it. I've done it so many times. Like, literally, probably like out of 10 times, like 8 or 9 times, if you see somebody find shit in a bin, you wait for them to finish. Don't be that dickhead that just tries to steal from them. You're a piece of shit. Just wait for them to be done. Wait for them to walk away. Let them be hyped. Let them get whatever they get. I guarantee you they missed at least one thing. At least one. And like, yeah, maybe they got 20 shirts and you're getting 1, but like, hey, like, they were right place, right time. They deserve what they got. You're going to have your time. But hey, you got that one shirt. You got that one thing they missed. And sometimes, like, that one thing they missed will be the craziest thing that was in there. I've had it happen plenty of times. Like, to where people are digging, like, they walk away. I go in there and I pull something fucking insane. Like, I can name one time, like, he didn't pull a bunch of shit out of a bin. But, like, I could give this advice. But, like, you don't be afraid to dig after people. Like, that kind of goes along with this. So, like, word of advice, this isn't like a rant or anything. Don't be afraid to dig after people. So, like, even if this is like the most knowledgeable dude in your bins, don't be afraid to dig after him. Like, he's in this bin, he leaves it. Don't be afraid to go in there. Like, there's been so many times. Like, there was one specific time that, I mean, it's happened to me with a lot of crazy shirts, but like, this is one of my favorite shirts I've ever found. And literally, it was like pretty late in the rotation, and this was in LA. Pretty late in the rotation, I was talking to my friend. We were just walking, and there was like 3 heads in this bin. Like, 3 heads. All of them missed this shit. But they're all digging, like, no one pulls shit. I think maybe like 1 person pulled one fucking thing. And me and my friend, we turn the corner, and we start looking through the bin. We're still talking, like, we were bullshitting. And we both just see like this little tiny little piece, and you could just tell by the colors that it was good. Sorry. You just tell by the colors that it was good. and we both grabbed it at the same time. And he's like an OG to me. He like taught me a lot of shit that I know, but he doesn't care too much about t-shirts. Obviously, he knows that they're worth money. He likes them personally, but like he's an old guy. He's an older guy, so like he's cool about it, you know. And we both reach at the same time. He tells me, "Oh, take it." I pull it out, and all we see is the back, and it's a mosquito head. Like, tell by the whole acid wash on the back, it's a fucking mosquito head. I'm like, oh shit. I like roll it up, I put it in, we dig out the rest of the bin, we don't find shit. And we like walk around and I unfold it, and it's the Dr. Seuss mosquito head. Which anyone that's been following me for a really long time, like even back when I was posting podcasts and shit, like they know that was one tee I always wanted. I always wanted it. And it was that. And it's like, there were heads digging in there. There were probably like, since the start of the rotation through like when I found it, probably at least like 8, 9 heads went through that bin. Whether it was like just kind of this bullshit or like dug it. And it's like, it was still in there. And I got it. I ended up giving my friend who's like really into like true vintage and denim, I gave him a really sick pair of like 40s jeans, just because he let me have it. He wasn't salty about me getting it or anything. He was actually very happy because it was a shirt that I had always wanted. But it's like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can always dig after people, but like, don't. Oh man, somebody's gonna like pause that right there and fucking post that shit. Oh my knee. But that's the thing. Like, don't hop on people. Like, you don't need to like fucking just because you see somebody pull 2 things. Like, you don't need to go to their bin and try to steal shit from them. Like, that's just fucked up. That's just bad karma. Is really what it comes down to. So don't be that guy. You're a piece of shit if you are. People that follow you goes along with this, but everyone also knows these people. They're usually the same people, but they're the ones that kind of stay back and they kind of just stand behind you, like wherever you go, and they like, whether they're looking at what you put on your shoulder, whether they're like looking at the bin you're digging in, like waiting for you to like unearth something, so they can just kind of like go in there and just fucking snatch that shit. Like, you can call them snatchers too, I guess. But like, they literally just follow you and they make you like dig, and then they wait for you to like unearth something that they can kind of just quickly just go in and grab another piece of shit of the bins. It's like, if you do that, you're trash. I mean, if you're following me around trying to look at everything I put over my shoulder, you're really annoying too. That's why a lot of people, I think, use bags nowadays. Like, they have like a duffel. They just throw shit in their duffel bag, like keep it discreet. Then there's I'll leave it off with this last one. And that's people that want to see everything you pull. That, oh my God. Literally, like, if you're that guy, like, every time I go to my cart, like, I remember it, like, when I used to go to bins all the time. Every time I would go to my cart, there'd be people waiting for me. Like, oh, what'd you find? What'd you find? What'd you pull? Or, like, if I got a bunch of shit, what'd you find? It's like, don't ask. Like, you don't need to know all this. Like, you don't need to see everything everyone pulls. And it's like, most of the time, like, when you do pull something crazy, and like, there's that one fucking kid that's like, oh, let me see. And it's like, they get mad when it's something crazy. And it's like, it's different when like your homies, like your really good friends, and it's like, oh shit, what'd you find? Like, there's a different, like, you all know what I'm talking about. Like, there's always that one like kind of annoying person that like just wants to see everything that everyone finds. And it's like, don't be that guy. Like, if you don't know somebody, don't ask them. Like, don't ask to look through their cart. Like, don't ask to like see what they found. Like, no one wants, because you're pretty much just showing your cards. And it's like, at bins, like where shit's sus and there's no rules half the time, like, people are gonna steal your shit. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, if you like keep your shit out there, like, I feel like, I don't know about a lot of places. I would do it everywhere I went, because I mean, I've been to a lot of bins. And I would see most places don't do this. Like, people don't do this. But I would always have a sheet. I think it's an LA bins thing because there's so much shit gets stolen there. But it's like, you'd have a sheet that you put over your cart so that no one could look inside of your cart unless they moved your sheet. And you know, like, you have more of a chance of seeing somebody open your sheet, like move your sheet and look through your cart. And like, you can also tell because if your sheet's moved, somebody looked through your shit. And like, you kind of have time to like check and see if anything's missing or like whatever, you know. But a lot of people don't cover their carts. And it's like, if you show everything you find and you don't cover your cart, like, you know how easy it is just to walk by and just dip, go throw that shit in your car. You're not going to go look through people's cars. Like, you're going to look through people's carts, maybe. You're not going to go look through their cars, though. Like, you're kind of just asking for a bad situation. Like if you show people all your shit, and it's like if you're the person that has to see everyone's shit, like you're just annoying, you know, just like all the rest of these people. Like you're just annoying, and you're just nosy. It's really what it comes down to, and it's just like no one's gonna want to show you stuff, and no one wants to be your friend. Like if you're that guy. So that's my rants. I could rant more. I could talk more. Sorry if they're not all in detail too much. Like the old head one. I feel like the old head one, if I really thought about it more, I could have went farther into detail. But like I couldn't think of anything off the top of my head. But yeah, that's like my ranting. That's my little like shit talking, I guess. A little tiny dose. I'll do it again like in the future when I'm more comfortable like going off to the phone and shit. But yeah, like comment if you want, like comment your like biggest pet peeves in like the vintage game or like bins, or just comment things that annoy you. You can comment stories. Like I like to read all the comments and stuff. I don't really reply to all of them because I don't really have time, but I do read them all. Or it's like you can say it on Instagram, you know, like do all that. Yeah, like let me know. Like I think it's cool to like see what other people find annoying, or like a lot of people have the same. Sorry, the sun. A lot of people kind of have the same pet peeves and all that. So yeah, comment them. I want to read them. And thanks again for watching. I'm actually really hyped to see like the growth that this channel is already going through. It's actually really crazy. What, like 1,500 subs already in like 3 videos. One video has like 14,000 views, which is crazy. And yeah, it's sick. I appreciate all the support as always. I feel like I say that a lot. Yeah, comment, subscribe, do all that shit, all that YouTube shit. Repost it in your stories. I like to see it. I'll repost some of them. Like, you know, I can't repost all of them just because it like loads my story up really bad. You know, and it'd be like this fucking long. But yeah, show love. I'll show love back. Thanks again. Appreciate it.